Bonsoir, chaque semaine depuis la rédaction de Vice France, on vous passe des sujets tournés par nos équipes partout dans le monde pour documenter l'actualité, la culture, la société et ses marges. Bienvenue dans Grand Central. Chabou, c'est comme ça qu'on appelle la méthamphétamine aux Philippines. Cette drogue a pour effet de provoquer un sentiment d'euphorie et de toute puissance, et c'est une des raisons pour laquelle certaines armées en donnent à leurs soldats sur les champs de bataille. Ce business rapporte près de 8 milliards de dollars par an à la pègre locale et attire la convoitise de la mafia mexicaine. Vice s'est rendu sur place.
Les Philippines sont le 3e pays au monde où l'on consomme le plus de méthamphétamine. La capitale Manille est littéralement infestée de chabou, comme on l'appelle ici. On a rendez-vous avec une indique qui veut dénoncer à la police les dealers de son quartier.
The confidential informant has now joined us in the back of the vehicle, and we're going to drive into her neighbourhood where she's going to identify the locations where dealers are distributing shabu into the neighbourhood for the agents in the car so they can prepare their intelligence for an eventual raid.
This house number 110, 2 posters in there. Okay, there's another 1 poster in here. That one, number 197, the one with the green color at the left side, the name is this one of the big poster in here.
So you've been into these houses?
Yes.
And you've seen them handle drugs or deal drugs? How long have you been an informant for the PDEA?
Just recently, because I cannot take anymore. I can't take anymore. So just to keep silent. No, I wanted them to be in jail. Yeah. Yes, I wanted them to be arrested and put in jail.
Why do you think shabu is so popular in Manila and your district here?
We have a very low punishment.
So gangs don't fear the police?
Yes, the gangs don't fear. Those drug peddlers don't fear because of the justices. If the death penalty should come back in our justice system, I think the best.
So are you worried for your safety by doing it?
Yes, of course. I'm very much worried with my safety. My whole family is living in this area.
Have you got a weapon to protect yourself at home?
I have my weapon at home with a license.
Do the pushers have weapons?
Of course.
Le chabou, c'est pas cher et on en trouve partout. Mais c'est surtout très addictif. Pour comprendre pourquoi 2% de la population philippine est accro, on est allé rencontrer des consommateurs qui en prennent depuis 20 ans.
Hi guys, ¿cómo está? So this is 2,400 pesos worth, which would last these guys quite a long time. Russ, why do you think shabu is so popular?
Dahil kapag nakatikim ka nito, parang gusto mo na siya eh. Ito ang kinakagustuhan ng Pilipino dito sa atin. So yan, pag nakahit-hit ka yan, mga 3 oras ang tama niyan. Tapos pag maghahanap ka na naman.
So when you take a hit of shabu, how does it make you feel?
Yung magangang pakiramdam mo, yung marami kang magandang iniisip.
Do a lot of people that use shabu also then get into selling it to try and feed their habit?
Oo, kasi ganun din ang nangyari sa akin. Nagbenta rin ako nito eh. Kasi ito karamihan talaga pinauutang nila to eh. Pinakukonsign ba? Pinauutang para ibenta mo. Pag di mo binayaran, wala. Hahanapin ka nun. Papatayin ka na nila.
So it's pretty swelteringly hot in there, and there's a lot of shabu smoke in there, so worried I might have a bit of a contact high. But from what they were telling us, you know, Russ has been doing this for 20 years. Once you're smoking the shabu, you're kind of locked in for a very long time. There's not really many other opportunities for people to get help, to get off it. Sounds like a very dangerous drug that these guys are clearly struggling with.
Le marché du chabou aux Philippines est tellement énorme qu'il a même attiré l'attention des cartels mexicains. En 2015, l'un des dirigeants du cartel de Sinaloa a été arrêté près de Manille. L'organisation de Joaquim El Chapo Guzman est le leader du trafic international de méthamphétamine. Mais une fois acheminé aux Philippines, ce sont des gangs locaux qui distribuent la drogue. L'une de ces bandes a accepté de nous expliquer comment elle gérait son business.
So, Joaquin, can you tell me what you're doing here?
Tinitimbang namin yung para ibigay sa mga tao na may mga isang bulto, isang wampon, pinaparte-parte namin para ipa-distribute.
How much is here on the table right now?
Nasa 300,000. Mamayang gabi, wala ubos na to, nasa mga tao na to, bibenta na lang nila to.
You're very well aware of the effects that shabu has on people and the stranglehold it can have on their lives. How does that make you feel being involved in this business?
Maano rin namin yan. Maramdaman din namin sure talaga kung saan. Pansin sure namin kailangan.
Hindi namin binibigyan ng pansin yung ganun mga nararamdaman namin dahil kailangan din namin ng pera.
Pagka papatalo kami sa damdamin ng awa sa kanila na.
Walang mangyayari.
May epektuhan din kami na
Do you want to expand your operation to other barangays? Are you pretty happy with the territory you currently control?
Siguro sa ngayon okay na yung ganito. Dahil pagka nag-interest pa kami ng ibang lugar, sigurado patay na naman yan.
And you're ready to kill to protect your business?
Nangyayari na lang yun.
Siyempre.
Nagawa na talaga namin para wag
Hindi po pwedeng
kasi kung kami gagawa ganun.
Hindi ganun kadali. Hindi ganun kadali para nakuha namin yung ganitong lugar.
So in January, we saw a Mexican Sinaloa cartel member arrested in Manila carrying a large amount of shabu. Have you seen any Mexican involvement in the shabu trade over the years?
Parang galing sa China yung talagang ma-imported yung mga Ngayon, sa ngayon, yung mga dito na ginagawa. Pag tumutungo na rito, na ipabigay na nila, wala na silang pakialam ng mga
alam na, mga mabibigat din talaga yun. Kaya lang, hindi pa masyado sila nakakaano nito.
Ito ng Pilipinas sa Pilipinas.
Depuis que Manille est devenue la capitale mondiale du chabou, les trafiquants sont obligés de se surarmer pour conserver leur part de marché. Les membres du gang nous ont emmenés à la campagne pour nous montrer leur arsenal.
So Joaquin, can you tell me what are these weapons and why you guys have to use them in the business that you're in?
Dahil may mga ibang mga pumapasok na grupo sa mga teritoryo namin. Kailangan namin ng ganitong mga armas dahil para protection din sa amin.
Has the business over time, as shabu's become more popular, become more risky?
Mas nagiging delikado dahil alam nilang marami ng pera ang usapan doon .
Do the police often try and break up your operation?
Wala, pinababayaan na lang kami dahil kaysa naman sa madamay pa sila. Inihantay na lang nila matapos, saka na lang sila dumadating.
The police are aware of what's going on? They're aware of who controls which areas, who controls what kind of product?
Mismo mga pulis na yung mga pumuprotekta rin sa amin .
Pour comprendre comment les cartels mexicains et les triades chinoises se sont partagés le marché philippin, on a rencontré un inspecteur de la brigade antidrogue.
Based on our experiences, the syndicates operating in the country are the Chinese syndicates and now the Mexican Sinaloa drug cartel that started to operate in the country. But lately, we have observed the local Chinese drug syndicates have cooperated or worked together with the Mexican Sinaloa drug cartel.
And how does that relationship work exactly?
Based on the report, the working relationship between the Mexican Sinaloa and the local Chinese syndicates is more on distribution of the finished product coming from the Mexico.
So Mexico delivers finished meth or shabu to the Chinese, who then import it into the country?
That's it, yes.
And could you tell me what are the main ports of entry and how are they able to smuggle so much in without being noticed?
The drugs coming from abroad enters through the customs and, of course, the vast shoreline of the Philippines. The drugs are dropped from the open sea waters and the oceans and picked up by some local cohorts of the syndicate.
And what do you think it is about the Philippines that is so attractive to these foreign cartels?
The perceived corruption among the pillars of the criminal justice system. One mayor was arrested transporting hundreds of kilograms of meth using the local ambulance of the municipality.
Wow. So a lot of sort of politicians use drug money to fund their campaigns.
We believe that those arrested government officials, elected and appointed, lots, hundreds, 200s, we believe that the drug money could be used this coming election.
L'argent du chabou semble arroser l'administration philippine à tous les niveaux. Pour avoir un aperçu de l'ampleur de cette corruption au sein de la police nationale, on a parlé à un ancien officier.
How long were you in the police force and what departments did you work in?
I entered in the police service since 1984 up to 2014. Napakaraming corruption ngayon. Obserbasyon ko ngayon, sa 100 cops, siguro mga 10 na lang yung talagang mabait.
And how did it make you feel knowing that your work was often compromised by corruption?
Mata na lang akong tinitingnan yung mga ginagawa ng mga kasamahan ko.
At any time during your service, did you ever take a bribe?
Oo, nakatanggap din ako. Pero hindi naman malaki. Ano lang, ibigay din ng mga kasamahan ko. Abutan ako ng for the boys ng mga kasama ko. Oh, tanggap ko na rin kasi magsasalita ka, nasa ano ka na, tatapong ka na sa kangkungan o sa halimbawa sa tapunan ng patay, ganun. Delikado.
So we're driving around Tondo waiting for a phone call from the delivery guys, and his job is to deliver larger amounts of shabu to a number of street-level dealers who will then sell on the shabu to the users in the district. Joseph, how much shabu are you carrying on you right now, and how much is it worth?
Eh, nasa mga 9 grams, mga 7,000.
Have you seen over the past couple of years like an increase in demand for shabu?
Dumadami. Minsan nadagdagan. Marami na rin yung gumagamit eh. Kailangan nila yun eh. Gamit nila sa trabaho, sa puyat.
We're now going to follow Joseph on his bike as he delivers the shabu to 2 of the street-level dealers. So given the high demand for shabu, Joseph has to make 2 of these runs every single day. So he's just dropped off some for this guy.
La misère et l'absence de perspective d'avenir ont permis au chabou de trouver des points d'ancrage dans toutes les sphères de la population, des dealers de quartier aux politiciens corrompus. Devant les énormes bénéfices que le chabou génère, les triades chinoises et les cartels mexicains n'ont pas eu beaucoup de mal à s'entendre. Face à une police et un gouvernement sclérosés par la corruption, les gangs ont les mains libres pour se livrer à ce trafic qui ronge peu à peu l'archipel.
Le mois dernier, Joaquín Guzmán dit El Chapo s'est une nouvelle fois fait arrêter par la police mexicaine. Craignant pour sa vie, il paraît même qu'il fait goûter sa nourriture à un chien par peur d'être empoisonné. Maintenant, on part pour la Géorgie. En 1992, l'Ossétie du Sud quitte le pays et proclame son indépendance, qui est reconnue uniquement par la Russie. La guerre de 2008 a certes abouti à un statu quo, mais l'été dernier, les Russes ont discrètement gagné du terrain.
We're outside the village of Bershueti, which is right next to the demarcation line between Georgia and South Ossetia. And just yesterday, 2 shepherds were actually captured by troops from the other side. May have been Russian troops, actually, who took them for allegedly crossing the line.
En 2008, une guerre a éclaté entre la Géorgie et la Russie pour le contrôle de l'Abkhazie et de l'Ossétie du Sud. En 10 jours, les combats ont fait 500 morts, dont la moitié de civils, et la Géorgie a perdu un quart de son territoire. Depuis, les républiques séparatistes sont de fait indépendantes. Seule la Russie et une poignée de pays les reconnaissent. De son côté, la Géorgie considère que ces territoires lui appartiennent, même si elle ne les contrôle plus. Mais cet été, les lignes ont bougé. Les soldats russes ont discrètement installé des barbelés et élargi le territoire de l'Ossétie du Sud. Du jour au lendemain, la carte de la région a été redessinée. Mais sur le terrain, la situation est beaucoup moins claire.
The entire world considers the land on both sides of this fence to belong to Georgia. Only Russia says that the land over here is part of an independent country known as South Ossetia. But the fence actually only goes up to here, and it ends, which is why it's not entirely clear for the local villages herding their sheep where they're allowed to go and where they're not supposed to be. Hi, how are you?
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
Ce berger nous a montré l'endroit où ses amis ont disparu.
Вы можете рассказать, что случилось с Мурази вчера?
Да, Мурази. Потом схинвали.
2 bergers étaient sur la route avec leurs brebis quand des hommes armés les ont arrêtés. Personne ne les a vus depuis, mais on suppose qu'ils ont été emprisonnés à Tskinvali, la capitale de l'Ossétie du Sud.
Your dog's not respecting the border. What's in that box over there?
Cette guérite avait beau être déserte, on était quand même observés.
А это российская база?
Российская база.
Ага.
Rien qu'en Ossétie du Sud, les Russes ont construit 19 bases militaires comme celle-ci. L'une d'entre elles est à moins de 50 km de la capitale, Tbilissi.
We can see a jeep moving inside the Russian base, and these guys say that usually when people come up to the fence, they come to check out what's happening.
Ça rendait notre guide nerveux d'être aussi près de la barrière. Alors on est descendu au village pour rencontrer la famille d'un des bergers.
Can you just tell us what happened to your husband? Do you know if it was Ossetian rebel troops or Russian army soldiers which captured your husband?
არ ვიცი რა გავაკეთოთ ვერ წარმომიდგენია როგორ ამოვიმეხვედოთ რა არის საჭირო სოფელში რო ეკითხოთ ჩემი ქმარისნარი მშრომელი და ის არავინ არის არც ოსებთან აქონია ცუდი ურთიერთობა როცა მშვიდობა იყო პირიქით სულ ყველას რავი პატივსაცემდა და პატივს აქცევდნენ.
Ces arrestations arbitraires posent un énorme problème aux habitants de la région. Selon les chiffres des séparatistes, plus de 300 personnes ont déjà été détenues pour avoir franchi la frontière. Mais il y a eu d'autres mauvaises surprises pour la population locale.
One of the consequences of the so-called borderization policy, the creation of this new border, is that it doesn't always follow the boundaries, even of villages. This barbed wire fence was put right in the middle of a village called Khurvaleti. In fact, it even goes through the yard of a Georgian man who's ended up on the other side. Здравствуйте. Меня зовут Симон, мы из американского телевидения. Мы пришли с вами пообщаться. Can you tell me how this happened?
საქართველოს მოქალაქე ვიყავდი, ეხლა გავხდი რუსეთის მოქალაქე საერთოდ. როგორ იცხოვრო, რანაირად ვიტანჯო, როგორ იცხოვრო ვარ.
How quickly did this fence appear?
ერთ ფეში გააბეს ეს.
Is it difficult for you to visit areas that are controlled by Georgia? And how do you survive here by yourself? Where do you get food and money? How come you haven't decided to go with the rest of your family to live in the camp or to live in Gori? We're on a patrol with the European Union monitoring mission. They're a delegation from the European Union which goes around and checks up on all of the activities around the South Ossetian border. They're going to show us around today to tell us what's been happening here recently.
In front of us, you can see the IDP camp, Nadar Bazeli. And left from the Nadar Bazeli camp, we have a new installed green sign. And on the right side from the IDP camp, you can see the also new installed green sign, which is 500 meters now from highway.
And that's the main highway?
Very close to this Baku-Supsa oil pipeline.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the southernmost point that the Russians and the Ossetians have claimed. It's just a couple hundred yards from the main highway that goes through Georgia, and it's also south of the pipeline, the Baku-Supsa pipeline, which was a major US-backed project.
Cet oléoduc a été construit en 1999 avec le soutien des États-Unis pour permettre à l'Azerbaïdjan et à la Géorgie d'exporter du pétrole sans passer par la Russie. Comme l'autoroute, c'est l'une des infrastructures majeures du pays. L'idée derrière ces projets, c'était de développer l'économie locale et, au passage, de garantir l'indépendance du Caucase face au Kremlin. Mais quand les Russes ont décidé d'avancer la frontière, ils ont gagné beaucoup plus que quelques maisons. Désormais, Moscou peut fermer le robinet à n'importe quel moment et couler l'économie géorgienne.
Georgia used to be a staunch U.S. ally. They even named one of the streets of their capital after George W. Bush. But after the war with Russia in 2008, it seems like their pro-Western resolve may be wavering. They still go through the motions of being in the Western camp. They put EU flags on everything, and they send troops out on NATO missions around the world. But their response to Russia's expanding territorial claims inside Georgia, it's been so weak that some people think the current leadership may have actually sold out to Russia.
Au même moment, la Géorgie fêtait l'ouverture d'une nouvelle base de l'OTAN, un symbole du rapprochement du pays avec l'Occident.
All of the country's top political leadership, including the Prime Minister, the President, as well as the Defense Minister, are here. And they've invited NATO's top commander, the Secretary General, to attend too. So NATO's trying to show that it's still committed to a relationship with Georgia, even though Russian troops are just about 100 kilometers away from here.
On a pu discuter avec le ministre de la Défense.
Why have Georgian forces taken no action against the recent territorial claims that the Russian and South Ossetian forces have been making near major infrastructure of Georgia, including the pipeline and the highway?
Georgia is taking every action that responsible states, responsible for the security of its own country and responsible for not allowing war on its territory, will be making. These are diplomatic actions that we are taking, and this is activation of the world community for the cause of Georgia. And we are not going to allow Russia to provoke us into another war.
Many of this government's critics say that this is a pro-Russian policy that you have. Do you agree with them to not counter Russia?
I'm not responsible for every craziness that I hear to answer any questions. There is no human being in this country you will find, and you can go out on the street and ask my name, who will say what you've just said.
Même lors de cette cérémonie, les autorités géorgiennes ne voulaient pas trop se mouiller. En général, la Géorgie préfère jouer la carte de l'apaisement face aux provocations des séparatistes. Le soir, on a appris que les bergers venaient enfin d'être libérés. Mais avant de rentrer chez eux, ils ont dû aller au poste pour expliquer ce qui s'était passé la nuit de leur disparition.
იმათი გასავლელი და ახლო ვიყავით ახლა აი ხაზზე რო ახლო ვიყავით იმას ხაზთან. და მოვიდნენ უსმათა და აბაჩხარა წამოვდი. რა დავაშავეთ მე ეს ხო არაფერი და იქით არ ვიყავით იმათ ტერიტორიაზე სულ აი იქ ვიყავით აი გვერდ რა როგორც აი ესე ეს. და წამოვიდნენ იმათა ძაღლი ხანდათ ავტომატები ხონდა და წახვები კი არა და.
Après ces formalités, les deux hommes ont enfin pu rentrer chez eux.
ახლა რომ ერგზაზე იტყვი ხრეში უდევს რომ ისე მიყავდი. მე უთხარი ნელაიარე თუ რომ არ გადამაგდო მეთქი თუ რა. მინდა მეთქი რომ აუ საბარა წესე მე წვალეთ ავარია სიბერი დროს აყიდე გამატარებინეს რა
გამაჟი ხო რა ხარ შეგენას ხალხა
ასე გაკლასა სიკამბესია შენ დადი მქონდა მე
კიდე შენი დადი
გაიშვილი შვილები ყავდა ეს მაიმედებს და ეს ამით ვარ ცოცხლობ ხო არ მენდორები ხალო
რა გინდოდა იქ რა გინდოდა კაცო
ახლა საქონელი იყო მოუვარეთ და რომ მოუვარეთ უცბად მოწვიდნენ და ეს ყაჩაღები ვის მოწვიდნენ და აბაჩქარა წამოდი და არ წახვიდოდი
Comme Mourazi, des centaines de personnes sont arrêtées près de la frontière tous les ans. Mais la plupart d'entre eux sont des Ossètes ou des Russes qui essaient d'entrer en Géorgie. Alors il est difficile de savoir si ce nouveau rideau de fer doit servir à repousser les étrangers ou empêcher les gens de fuir. Entre l'inaction des autorités géorgiennes et les provocations russes et ossètes, les habitants de la région continuent à subir les conséquences de chaque nouveau tracé de frontière.
Aujourd'hui, la situation en Géorgie est toujours très instable. Au mois de décembre, un nouveau Premier ministre a été nommé et bien qu'il tente de se rapprocher de l'OTAN, il continue de faire ami-ami avec Moscou. Maintenant, je vais skyper avec Simon Ostrovski, le journaliste qu'on voit dans le sujet, pour qu'il nous explique comment la situation a évolué depuis son tournage. Salut Simon.
Salut.
Alors, ma première question, ça va être de te demander, depuis le 30 décembre 2015, il y a un nouveau Premier ministre qui a été nommé. En quoi cela affecte les relations entre la Russie et la Géorgie?
I think that relations between Russia and Georgia.
Les relations entre la Russie et la Géorgie se sont améliorées ces derniers temps. Mais ceux qui ne sont pas dans le camp de l'actuel Premier ministre ne voient pas trop ce que ça rapporte à la Géorgie. Alors que les élites à Tbilissi sont en meilleurs termes avec le Kremlin, la Russie n'a pas fait reculer les barrières dans les régions qu'elle occupe. C'est même le contraire. Ils continuent d'avancer les clôtures et à occuper de plus en plus de territoires géorgiens. Du coup, beaucoup de gens se demandent à qui profite cette nouvelle relation.
Est-ce que selon toi, la Russie va finir par annexer l'Abkhazie et l'Ossétie du Sud, exactement comme ils l'ont fait pour la Crimée?
Concrètement, ils en ont déjà pris le contrôle. Ils les ont quasiment annexés, même si le Parlement ne l'a pas officiellement validé. Mais la Russie gère le budget de ces régions. La Russie s'occupe de leur défense et contrôle tout.
influencing the.
On suspecte même la Russie d'influer sur les élections.
The thing about Ossetia and Abkhazia is that unlike Crimea and unlike East.
Il faut savoir qu'en Ossétie du Sud et en Abkhazie, contrairement à la Crimée et à l'est de l'Ukraine, il y avait des mouvements séparatistes depuis le début des années 90. Jusqu'en 2008, même si l'Abkhazie et l'Ossétie du Sud étaient autonomes, les deux camps restaient en contact. Les gens pouvaient aller assez librement des régions contrôlées par la Géorgie à celles qui étaient aux mains des séparatistes. Depuis que la Russie a pris le contrôle, ce genre de choses est devenu impossible. Et les relations ont été vraiment rompues. Maintenant, ces régions sont rattachées exclusivement à la Russie, et pour y accéder, il faut passer par la Russie et pas par la Géorgie.
Merci beaucoup Simon pour ces réponses. À la prochaine.
Thank you.
Salut Simon. Pour finir, on part en Angleterre à Leicester. Pour écrire Fight Club, Chuck Palahniuk s'est directement inspiré du bare knuckle, une espèce de combat de boxe mais sans les gants, apparu au XVIIIe siècle. Ce sport semi-clandestin se pratique dans les caves humides des pubs anglais. Vice s'est rendu sur place et a pu assister au plus grand combat de boxe à main nue jamais organisé depuis 150 ans.
The common perception of bare-knuckle fighting is that only Irish travellers and East End hard men still do it. But in actual fact, there's still a thriving underground, and the fighters come from all walks of life. And it originates here in the UK. I'm here in Hinckley, just outside Leicester, to meet Andy Topliff. Now, Andy runs a promotion company called BBAD Promotions, and what he aims to do with that company is to kind of bring bare-knuckle into the mainstream.
It's an up-and-coming fight company, and I do it because I love the sport, and I want the sport to grow.
Pour en savoir plus sur l'histoire du combat à main nue et sur son regain de popularité, on a rencontré Andy dans un pub près de Leicester.
Andy, how's it going?
Hey,
nice to meet you.
You all right?
Yeah. What is the history of bare-knuckle fighting in England and Britain?
Bare-knuckle fighting as a sport was absolutely, categorically English. It was an English thing. The Europeans feared English men for their fighting ability. It's actually a British heritage, bare-knuckle fighting is. It's where boxing comes from. Certainly in the 18th century, very, very a big sport. Even the royal family, they would want to know who won, you know, if it was a big fight. They were like superstars of today.
And how about your own background? How did you get into bare-knuckle?
From a very young age, to be honest with you. You know, I was brought up in the travelling community. My hands, they're destroyed basically now. They're deformed because of it. Obviously, in the bare-knuckle world, there has always been quite a lot of input with criminals. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to push all of that out. I wanted that gone. You know, I decided to do BBAD and keep it as a proper sport. I really want to get this regulated and get it mainstream. We started the first UK belt since, you know, way over 100 years. And then I thought, well, one extra step and we'll go for the Atlantic belt, which is a real historic event. I'd always wanted to get, you know, an American to come over.
Jason est venu au Royaume-Uni avant le combat. Il s'est entouré des plus grands boxeurs du pays, dont l'ancien champion Paddy Monaghan, un proche de Mohamed Ali. Il y a aussi le grand maître du Wing Chun, Samuel Coke. La légende veut qu'il se soit un jour entraîné avec Bruce Lee. C'était clair que Jason prenait ce combat très au sérieux. L'expérience de Clive en combat était presque inexistante, du coup il a voulu rencontrer un type qui combattait depuis l'âge de 10 ans. James McCrory, dit le Gitan, de Newcastle. Une légende vivante dans le monde du bare-knuckle qui devait affronter Jason dans le combat pour la ceinture atlantique. On l'a rencontré dans son repère, un pub du centre-ville.
The first UK versus US bare-knuckle fight in over 150 years is just days away. So we've come back to Newcastle to see James McCrory, who's in the middle of his training preparations.
Get in, weights down. Like all your opponents, you've got to give them the chance at the start, you know what I mean?
So when you're coming out, are there any kind of like routines?
Newcastle means a lot to us, and Ireland does, and we wear Newcastle top and Irish shorts.
Bastard. Where would you like to see the sport going?
Maybe 10, 15 years time, you know, it'll be hitting big arenas, you know, but I'll be, well, maybe, I may not. If the money comes good, I look after myself, I might still be fighting in 15 years time. It's all about the pressure, like. It's all about the pressure, boys. So I can handle it. Now when it thrive under pressure.
Oh.
Woo! Charge me that. Right, oh.
Can you explain to me what it's like in the pit?
It's only like 3 bales are here, right this way, 3 bales here this way, and you're taking 2 steps, you know, into the centre, then you're there, you know. I'd be like faking with a job or moving my hand about, you know what I mean? If you can like establish your job, it's a good thing, you know what I mean? And then like, obviously you get the 1, 2 in, you know what I mean? And then, you know, obviously you're going to move your head a bit, you know, what I'd be trying to do if someone's jobbing me, you know. And then just like, maybe just come doing a bit, or come up to the centre, and bang, bring a body shot in. And honestly, I'd much rather hit me with 10 in the jaw than 1 good one there, you know, because it really hurts.
How does it feel when you get one of those there?
I can't even describe it, mate. It's the worst feeling in the world when you can't breathe and you've got a gum shield in your mouth. You try to spit the gum shield out, but you can't because you can't get your breath to get the power of your lungs to spit it out. You're going red, you're starting to see little fucking stars. Then you're going lower and lower and lower to the ground. It's horrible. It's horrible. And eventually your hands will drop and then boom.
Yeah.
Good night, you know what I mean?
And if I wanted to knock you out, and I'm looking for the chin about here, right?
You haven't brought your 14-pound hammer here, mate. So you're all fucking out of luck.
You mentioned being punch drunk earlier. Do you think you could have like a wake-up call at all?
You know, I've had some great nights with the boxing and with a bare knuckle. If I wasn't so brain damaged, I could tell you them all, you know.
Do you worry it might affect your memories of your family in those kind of important moments and what have you?
Well, it probably already has, you know. I mean, I can remember the day that my dad died. I can remember it all, every single second of it. But I can't remember much. Otherwise, like, could get hit by a bus, you know, and I wouldn't have any memories at all. So it's just a risk you've got to take, isn't it? That's why the tattoos on my back, you know. McCrory is a Catholic cross with a shamrock in for my dad, and no fear. You haven't got to be scared out in life, man. You just go for it. Whatever happens, happens. There's a lot more better fighters than us out there, you know, but the difference, I've got the balls to fucking, I don't just talk about it, you know. If I say I'll train for a fight, I'll train for a fight, doesn't matter where I go.
Le lendemain, James nous a présenté Léane, sa copine.
Alright, toots. Just how are you, lads?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? How's life?
Just want a cuppa?
I'm rushing, I'm fine.
Me and James are very, very different. Like, you couldn't get 2 people more different in regards to what we're like, how we've lived our lives, choices we've made. The person you see on, like, the fights on YouTube, that's not him. Like, I know it is, but that's not the person I know. Build up a certain fight, he's like a time bomb. Last summer I had a bit of a bad time and I thought, you know, this is not working, I'm away. But I've never seen anybody fight as much as what he did to get me back.
Pour un soir, South London devenait le centre du monde. Ricain contre roast beef, le combat du siècle. Le rêve d'Andy prenait enfin forme. Mais avant le combat pour le titre, on a vu quelques affrontements, histoire de se mettre dans l'ambiance. Ça ressemblait à un festival de coups de poing dans la gueule.
Blood, guts, glory. I want to see people going for it.
Bare knuckle, it is the ultimate sport. Yeah, ultimate tear-up. Just enjoy seeing getting in there, you know, real punches and no fucking around, you know what I mean?
There's no holds barred, more or less, you know. They really go for it. Violence and bloody chance of getting badly hurt.
Big buzz, you know what I mean? It's one of the best buzzes I've ever had, you know what I mean? Like, it's up there with sexy.
England is the home of bare knuckle.
I think the British, it's in the blood.
I mean? Fuck the fucking rest of the world.
Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm here for Jason the Machine Gun Young, USA.
Jason the Machine Gun Young, fighting for the Atlantic Heavyweight title against the UK champ, James Boy McCrory, and I'm ready to kick his ass.
Jason était tout ce qu'on attend du boxeur américain. Arrogant et excessivement patriote. Il s'était autoproclamé l'aigle chauve.
Unfortunately, today's bare-knuckle boxers are mostly just boxers. I bring a different style. For me, it's natural. I tune everything else out, the crowd, the noise, the cameras, everything, and just focus on my opponent. Just in the zone. I'm the first American to come over here since 1863 and fight for the title, so there's much more pressure on him. Because I'm the unknown, I'm coming from the United States, we have a huge advantage.
22h, l'heure du grand combat. James était introuvable. Les gens disaient qu'il flippait et s'était barré. D'autres racontaient qu'il était dans un taxi en provenance de Newcastle. Tout le monde était super tendu, la réussite de la soirée dépendait de son arrivée. Jason, qui s'entraînait depuis des semaines, devenait de plus en plus nerveux.
Well, I don't know what happened. He got stuck up in Newcastle. I mean, we've known about this fight for a very long time. I came all the way from America. If I was back in America, I'd have 100 friends who would come get me immediately and bring my ass down here. So I basically just told him, you know, get down here. Seems like there's a lot of excuses with today's fighters. Back in the day, somebody calls somebody out and, you know, if you're going to be disrespectful, you got to back it up.
On avait perdu tout espoir et les gens commençaient à se barrer. Ça devenait évident qu'il n'allait rien se passer ce soir. Et soudain, il est apparu. James McCrory, son bide à bière, sa grosse barbe et son maillot de Newcastle sur le dos. Il avait l'air perdu, on captait pas s'il était crevé ou tout simplement bourré. Le combat pouvait enfin commencer. On savait qu'on vivait un moment d'histoire. Amérique versus Royaume-Uni, le face-à-face à main nue. Les coups pleuvaient sur le gitan. Il semblait que la ceinture allait traverser l'Atlantique. Mais McCrory en avait décidé autrement. Et finalement, il a gagné. Ce soir, le titre de champion ne quittera pas la Grande-Bretagne. Le mitrailleur et ses potes repartaient pour l'Utah, la queue entre les jambes. La victoire du gitan était un nouveau pas vers la gloire, pas uniquement pour la boîte d'Andy, mais pour le combat à main nue en tant que sport. Le rêve de tous ces gars allait peut-être devenir réalité, voir le bare knuckle devenir le plus grand, le plus intense et le plus excitant des sports de combat du Royaume-Uni.
Depuis sa victoire, le gitan n'a toujours pas raccroché les points. Il faut savoir que le bare knuckle n'est pas propre au Royaume-Uni. On le retrouve sous une forme beaucoup plus violente en Afrique du Sud sous le nom de musangwe, un sport apparu un siècle plus tard. Voilà, c'est terminé pour ce soir. Si vous avez des questions ou des commentaires à nous laisser, c'est sur les réseaux sociaux. Bonne fin de soirée.